Hi, Falmouth teachers. This is Jill Dyott talking. It's July 24th, 2014, and today I'm going to show you how to create the magic tunnel effect. So, this is what a magic tunnel looks like, and I'm going to show you how I built it. Basically, the idea is that you have two items next to each other in contrasting colors, and when you move from one side of the tunnel to the other, the opposite side magically shows up. And of course, you can go back and forth doing this. Sometimes I use this when because I'm the library teacher at the high school, so if I'm teaching the Dewey Decimal System, I have a magic tunnel that I have created with all of the different categories, and this is just an example. 400 to 499 of the Dewey Decimal System is languages. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a magic tunnel. So I'm starting with a blank slide, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a rectangle. And the idea is you need to make a decent size rectangle so that you have enough room to fit both phrases next to each other. So even though one's hidden, it still has to fit in the rectangle. So I'm going to make one. Oh, make sure I get my rectangle instead of a circle. I'm going to make it about this big. And then I'm going to delete the circle I accidentally made, and I'm going to come in here and clone my rectangle just so I know it's the exact same size because it helps it stay neat. So now I have two of them, and I'm going to just move them so they're next to each other. Now at this point what I want to do is I want to choose two contrasting colors to put side by side. So I'm going to select my first rectangle, and I'm going to do that purple color. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to do the mint green. Okay, so at this point what I can do is I can select the two rectangles and group them together so that now they kind of move as one unit. And remember, you can select either of the drop-down menus to group them together. Okay, great. So now my two rectangles move as one object. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to build the tunnel itself. So we need to go back into the shape tool, and the first thing to do is to do a smaller rectangle. Remember though, you want this rectangle, you want the tunnel to be sized appropriately for your text or for whatever you're going to be sending through the tunnel. If you make it too small, it's not really going to work because you're going to be able to see the words behind it. So I'm going to make it about that big. And then I'm going to make my two circles to go on the outside to actually create the tunnel. So I'm going to select the oval, or you can do the circle, whatever floats your boat. And I'm going to make one. And at this point, you could either clone that one, or, since I already have it on the shape tool, I'll just make another one real quick. And let's just fix this corner. Make it a little bigger and move it up just a bit. Okay, great. So now I want to color in my tunnel. So first, since I already have this circle selected, I'm going to do like a kind of a dark gray for this one. And I'll do the same color for the other one. It would help if I selected it first, right? There we go. Okay, and now I'm just going to color in the tunnel itself. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a lighter gray for the tunnel. I don't know why it thinks I'm trying to do a text box. Let's get out of that. There we go, that worked. A little bit of trial and error there. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the two rectangles in that I'm going to group the tunnel together so it now moves as one object. So let's go ahead and drag through until you see all three of the drop-down menus show up. But then you can select any of them to group them together. And now they'll move as one. What you don't want to do is you don't want to group everything together because you'll see, I'll show you why in a minute, but you don't want to group everything together. You want to leave your rectangles kind of in the back, and then you want to have your tunnel in the front. And when you create your words to go through the tunnel, that they're going to be what's in the middle. And so we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create our text boxes. Okay. So here's where you put whatever you want to transform from one thing to another. So I'm going to use my duodecimal example, and I'm going to say 400 to 499, and then I'm going to just leave a couple spaces and then write languages. So now at this point, that font looks a little bit big to me. Like, I don't think that's going to be really hard to get it, effectively to go through the tunnel, and I don't want to have to mess with my tunnel now that I've finished it. So I'm just going to reduce this font a little bit so it's easier to slide through the tunnel. Okay, that looks better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the 400 to 499 the mint green color. And hopefully that worked. Yep. And I'm going to make the word languages the purple color so it'll disappear when it's on that side of the screen. Okay. So now when I move this down, you'll see that you can see the mint green part, but you can't see the purple part. However, you have to do one more step for this to really be successful, because when you come in here and you slide it through, you'll see that right now my words are above my tunnel, or on top of my tunnel, I should say. So what I want to do is I want to come in and I'm going to say, or find the order. Making a classic mistake here. I'm not on cursor mode, so I need to get into my cursor first. There we go. And I'm going to send it backward. What I don't want to do is I don't want to send it to the back, because then it's going to be behind the text box, it's going to be behind the rectangle, so you won't even be able to see it. So I'm just going to send it backward. And now it works. And again, you can go, back and forth through here. Someone in the Smartboard class that I taught this past week asked a great question, and that is, how would you get something, like if you wanted to have something show up on both sides, could you do that? And yes, you absolutely can. All you have to do is just pick a completely different color for whatever it is that you want to show up on both sides. You can also, you can put objects through the tunnel as well. So let's show you how to do that. I'm going to create a new text box, and I'm going to say dog. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, and then I'm going to say mammal. And again, I really think I need to reduce this font a little bit, so let's bring it down to 16. Okay, so now I want to add a picture of a dog. So I'm going to put this little guy on, so I'm just going to drag and drop him. Obviously that dog is a bit big to go through the tunnel, so we'll reduce him in size. And then put him over with my words. Okay, great. So now what I need to do is change the color of the words so that they're hidden again, or so that they're hidden when I want them to be. So mammal's going to be in the purple. And then dog is going to be in the green. And what I want to do at this point is I actually want to group the text box and the picture together so that they move as one. And I have a good feeling that I'm probably going to have to say send backward, not send to the back, again, but send backward. So let's just see. Right, so we're still on top of the tunnel, so I'm going to go ahead, select the drop-down menu, order, send backward. Okay. And there you go. That's how you create a magic tunnel. I've seen ones where people have like multiple tunnels too. Like, so if I was to copy this and then paste it in here, then I don't have to worry about crossing over or under any of my other words. I can just kind of slide it straight through. So I've seen some with as many as 10 of these magic tunnels, all on the same 2 rectangles.